great time. And hopefully next
and maybe even some older owners is. But I'm back.
Hey there, fools! It's Mizzah Tee here with your Nintendo Switch Leaks and Rumors Survival Guide. As you all know, January 12th will mark the time when Nintendo fully unveils the Nintendo Switch. Most likely we'll get pricing and games and all that good stuff. Until then, we're going to continue to get the so-called leaks and so-called rumors plastered over the internet. It's just going to happen. We'll have to deal with it. I just wanted to talk about the Switch rumors and leaks, how to spot really bad ones, and what to look for. I'm gonna try to get out a few videos this week because I'll be going on vacation starting this Friday. I'll be in the Caribbean. I don't know about the internet situation there, so hopefully I'll be able to get, feed so I can watch the Switch reveal. Just want to drop a few videos this week before I'm out. Yeah, so let's talk about how to avoid bad so-called leaks and rumors. So a few weeks ago, maybe over a month ago, myself, Red Knight of Active Gamer Life, and Terminator Juice were talking about, the rumors and things of that nature. And most of what I'm going to talk about here stem from that conversation that we had. And Red Knight is basically a Nintendo Nostradamus. He would say that he's not, because what he does is he feels that he just observes what Nintendo's putting out there, and he uses deductive reasoning to figure out, what their moves are, and he's really good at that. Most people just don't pay attention the way that he does, and so he feels like what he says is pretty obvious, but to a lot of us it's not. So just want to say that the idea about rumors and why certain ones don't stick, this mostly comes from him. So like I said, we had a conversation and it just made so much sense. We were talking about rumors and how Eurogamer and whatnot, they figured out they basically had the Switch, what it was to a T. They leaked that beforehand. And we were talking about how this information and why, they were able to come up with this stuff. And we talked about it and it made a lot of sense. Red was just saying that, well, as far as hardware goes, developers got to see Nintendo Switch, I think, behind closed doors at E3, and there were some people that got hands-on with the Switch. Obviously, what's his name? I can never remember his last name, but his first name's Todd from Bethesda. Was talking about it was the best demo he had ever seen. So, obviously that meant that people got to see it, and people talk. Even with NDAs, people will talk, and somebody who doesn't care to leak this stuff it'll eventually get to somebody like that, and they'll put it out there. And that makes a lot of sense for hardware because, that's Nintendo has to show the hardware and talk about, what kind of engines the thing's running and all that stuff with developers beforehand, so they'll know what to expect. And then they get, development kits and all that stuff. So that kind of stuff is in a lot of different people's hands, being the hardware. So basically it makes sense for hardware to get leaks, of that, caliber. So some of the hardware leaks that we've gotten may be true. Obviously the form factor and whatnot of the Switch was true, that we got leaked. I don't know about chipsets and all that internal stuff. I don't know who would know that in the know, what developers and who they'd be talking to, who would risk leaking that stuff. But it's different with software, because software, Nintendo doesn't have to show anybody software. They don't have to show anybody Nintendo software. There would be no point in the showing a developer Nintendo software. They would go to developer with a demo of something. They wouldn't say, oh, well, we're working on this and this is going to come out launch day to a developer. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Maybe, closer we get to launch, that would make sense because they'd be talking to developers about what they're going to have. And maybe you should hold your game off because our game might drown yours out, that kind of stuff. But that early out, even this early out, I don't think there's not one developer who knows what Nintendo is going to come with. So any software development, any software leaks, software from Nintendo, Nintendo games, any leaks of that nature would have to come from Nintendo employees, Nintendo themselves. And you have to think about who is stupid enough to risk their job to leak something, that Nintendo doesn't want leaked. Sometimes companies will have stuff leaked that they want leaked, but I don't think Nintendo would want, the software lineup leaked. So, like I said, it'd have to come from a Nintendo employee willing to risk their pretty awesome job. I mean, who doesn't want to work at Nintendo? Willing to risk their job to leak something to some low-level blogger or even a high-level blogger. Why would anybody do that? Even then, every Nintendo employee does not have the software lineup for the Nintendo Switch. They don't know that stuff. That's stuff that Nintendo can keep pretty close to the vest as far as who needs to know that. And other developers and other, game makers and publishers, they don't have to know that stuff until after we get the reveal. Everybody gets the reveal because they'll still have plenty of time to, get their games ready, and Nintendo have plenty of time to let the retailers know what to put up on their websites and all that stuff. I'll get into that a little bit later as far as what I'm going with that. But it just doesn't make any sense for anybody outside of a few, in the know, big up, higher ups in Nintendo to know what the software launch, what the software is going to be for games and all that stuff. So everything else, I believe 99% of the stuff talking about Nintendo games is educated guesses. And some of those guesses are based on the Switch reveal that we got. You saw Mario Kart, it looked a little different. You saw Splatoon, that looked a little different, and things of that nature. So everybody's like, oh, this is just an enhanced version. That's a guess. That's no hard information from any leak. Any one of us who saw that Switch event could make that educated guess. Like I said, software, it's one thing to have hardware leaks, because, like I said, plenty of developers had to get their hands on the Switch, and they start getting giddy and they start talking to other developers. You see how, I think his name's Todd Howard. I don't want to mess up his last name, but I think it's Todd Howard. They start they start getting giddy. He was obviously very giddy when he was talking about the Switch. He was very excited, so he had to tell someone. He was worried about, saying something that would affect the NDA. He actually said that in his statement. He's like, oh, I don't know if this is the NDA thing, but, he went on to give a great praise for the Switch. So hardware is one thing, but software, Nintendo doesn't tell anybody what their software is going to be. But they don't have to tell anybody that before the January 12th event. So, like I said, I believe pretty much every software leak is an educated guess, or uneducated guess. I mean, Super Mario switcheroo. Come on. But yeah, so that's that. Okay, so recently there's been a new quote-unquote leak. Apparently this comes from EB Games Australia. They had a bunch of Switch stuff up, for pre-order. Again, Nintendo doesn't have to give retailers any information until the day of or the night before or whatever. And pre-orders, I don't think Nintendo's gonna want people doing pre-orders or allowing pre-orders this early or anything like that, because of you know, the shipments. I mean, I'm sure they're still working that out, how much they're going to ship. They said 2 million or something, I think. I obviously honestly, I don't even remember if that was directly from them or just from somebody else. With the internet these days, you don't even know if the information you're getting is coming from the source. That's one thing I hope that the internet was going to do, is allow people to have more access to information quickly. But the problem is they end up with fake information, fake news, people wanting to be first instead of being correct. And where I thought it was going to make people smarter, studies have shown it's actually made people less smart and lazier when it comes to, like, you know, researching and stuff, which is kind of backwards but sad. But anyway, let's look at this so-called EB Games Australia leak, and then let's delve into it and show you why, you know, I'm calling this a survival guide, and show you what to look for when you're trying to find fake or spot fake or not really that good rumors or leaks. So let's go. All right, so this is the image that was shared in our Google Hangout chat group for The Juice is Loose. This was shared by Terrell the Insane Game Freak. Make sure I'm recording here. Yes, I am. All right. And this is not from the EB Games website. Well, this isn't directly. This is just an image. This is supposedly was leaked. I guess maybe it was taken down, but I don't know the information on it yet. But here's the image. Let's see if I can blow it up here. So let's look at the stuff here. So this information actually is on the website. I've checked it out myself. The pre-order, I thought that EB Games, maybe I must have been thinking about a different retailer. I thought that EB Games didn't do a placeholder price for pre-orders, but must have been thinking about a different retailer, because obviously they do. Like I said, this information here is for real for the console and the Switch Pro controller. This is all real info. This is up right now. I checked myself. But the stuff in question is the rest of this stuff. The games here, and all that stuff. First of all, it'd be kind of strange for the placeholder price to be the same as the controller. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into that, but supposedly these are the images here, and as you can see, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild here. You can also see Mario Kart 8 Switch, I guess, as it says there, and Elder Scrolls Skyrim 5, or 5 Skyrim. And again, these are all, there's nothing special about this stuff. You could have figured this out and mock this up or whatever. But what I'm going to do is going to blow this up, right? I'm going to blow this up here. Oh, maybe I can't make it any bigger. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll do it this way. All right, so as you can see, it's pretty impossible to read this stuff, or blow it up to where you can see what these words are or any of that stuff, right? And like I said, I visited the website and I went into, you know, another games that are out that I know that are real, and I clicked on, and I was hoping that maybe I'll get a bigger image, that I'll be able to blow it up and I'll be able to see tiny words, but nothing, none of the images you could actually blow up manually and see anything or make out any of these smaller details. And I'm bringing that up because on this image, let me see, back out of here first. On this image here, this is supposedly part of the image, you can actually read that small print. All new battle mode, looks like 24 extra tracks, 10 new characters. Again, 24 extra tracks. Most Mario games come with what, 16 tracks? 24 extra tracks? That's like another game. Why wouldn't they just make it a new Mario Kart game? It's kind of strange. But anyway, there's no way to blow up that small image I showed you up here and be able to make out any of that stuff I just read to you. Again, I'm going to manually do this using my computer's, resizer. And let's see if I can scroll over here. And it's just, you'll never get an image to where you can read it anywhere close to how I can see it here. I mean, that is, not sharp or anything, but it's barely pretty impossible to see. So I'm going to say that this isn't real, but I could be wrong. And this is as far as I can blow it up on my computer manually. And you can't read that. Like, there's no... And again, I'm pretty proficient in Photoshop. I've been using Photoshop for more than 10 years now. And the same thing would happen if you took an image this tiny and blew it up. You wouldn't be able to... excuse me. You wouldn't be able to make it out. Like, I can't make out any of this, what this says. And these words are pretty much the same size, if not bigger, than these words. So it just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Again, I think if it wasn't for this extra image that, let me get resize it here because it's way too big now, that shows you in pretty decent detail these tiny words, I wouldn't be as suspicious. I still would be. And there's some odd bordering and whatnot that I notice in flawed Photoshop pictures. And I wouldn't think a professional company like Nintendo, like, what is that? What is that little thing there? That's supposed to be a hook coming through? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I just find that odd. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Like I said, I went to the website. Actually, let's jump to the website real quick. AB Games. There it is, Australia. And I'll show you what they have. Now, obviously, they could have taken it down. It was an accident. But again, I don't know why a retailer would need to have this information early. Let's go to more. Nintendo NX. They still have Nintendo NX as their scroll down, which is a little odd, but I mean, this is the actual website. So, and this is what they have. This is all they have. They didn't have that big Switch page or any of that stuff. So that's also suspect. Like I said, the prices are correct, but anybody with halfway decent Photoshop skills could have, mocked up that page. And the image, this all fit size-wise correctly, but for some reason it was missing this side scroll that should have been visible. More oddities. Again, like, if you just look at this and you saw EB Games at the top and you didn't do any research, you believe that hook, line, and sinker. But just a little research and a little thought, and you too can survive the Nintendo Switch rumors override that we're going into. And it's going to continue to happen. It'll probably get crazier the closer we get to the date, because that gravy train will close up pretty soon. And they'll figure out something else that gets you popping. It'll probably be more about the games. And again, like I said, software is a lot harder to have leaks for. Nintendo software, because they don't have to show that to anybody. So an employee risking their job to give information to some low-level blogger just seems, I don't know, asinine. But anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. What you think? What do you think about this? Do you think that image was the real deal? And they just quickly got rid of it when they realized a mistake? Or do you think it's as fake as I do? As fake as that, what's his name? Hey Arnold controller. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, see you next time. Peace out.
And thank you all for watching Mizzah Tee Show.